We're here at Deerfield. It's Saturday morning. I didn't come up on Friday because it was pouring rain. However, Mr. Mike says that we should have come up. I should have come up here on Friday and braved the weather because it probably would have cleared. But I have it on good witnesses. I have it on good terms that there were a number of people that got soaked here yesterday, but today looks like a much better day. Weather looks pretty good. Hopefully there'll be no rain whatsoever, and we'll have a lot of people coming up. I'm sorry I didn't have any guts to come up here during the pouring rain, but all I had was a tent, and I didn't want to set up a tent in the pouring rain. So we're going to take a look around today, see what's here on Saturday. Got here bright and early. Sun is just coming up, and hopefully we'll have a pretty good day here.
How was yesterday's weather?
It really sucked. I mean, checking this out, this is not bad, but it's cold. Notice all the layers I have underneath me here. I have 6 layers in all to keep warm here. But what are you gonna do?
What did you do yesterday? How was yesterday? Describe it.
Well, actually, there was a robust crowd here, the hardcore. They were all sitting, waiting for a day like today, when the sun had come out, and people would be floating about buying goodies.
Did you get wet at all yesterday?
I got a little wet. I tried to stay out of the rain as much as possible, but the thing is, I was smart. Thursday night when I arrived, I put up my antenna with a slinging transformer, have a rope burned to prove it, and at the same score, I got everything working Thursday night, so when I crawled into bed, all I could do was just listen to the rain on the roof and say, I don't have to deal with it. The weather's one of those things that here we are at Nearfest 8, and we've been blessed by very high fine business WX old man right up through the 7th. But the 8th, well, what are you going to do? At least we have today.
I got here Thursday night, and I kneeled and prayed and did everything I could to hope for good weather for Friday morning's opening as usual, but it was just a heavy drizzle most of the day. There was a little optimism around 8:30 when we were queuing up to come in from the camping area, and it gave you the feeling that, well, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Diane, K1OIK.
And you're one of the few young ladies that are in ham radio. Why are you in ham radio?
We kind of fell into it. For years, my brother's used a ham. He'd been telling me that I should really get into it, and one day we had a pretty bad car accident. We were way up north in Maine, and all of our cell phones either had no signal or they were broken, and we actually had a ham call for help for us, and that kind of woke me up, and I said, well, let's look into this ham radio thing. So we did, and then we got our license, and then I realized it was really interesting, and I do a lot of hiking, so I help out with a lot of emergency communications, have a lot of mobile equipment and stuff like that. So hopefully I can help someone someday, like they help me. And our first contact was Czechoslovakia, and that was right off the bat when we had the we tested out the antenna, and that just blew me away. So that, and I enjoy contesting, but I haven't gotten around to doing much of it.
Where do you hike?
We like to do Mount Washington a lot of the presidential ranges and stuff. Bring our HTs along.
How long have you had your license?
Let's see, probably about 8 years now.
And what class?
Extra.
Okay, amateur extra.
Yep, that one took 2 tries.
And where did you come from?
I came from Athens, Greece for this.
From Athens, Greece?
Athens, Greece.
How did you get here?
I flew to Maryland and then drove up.
Why did you come such a distance?
Because this is the best Hamfest in the world. Doesn't get any better than this.
Were you here yesterday?
I was, in the rain.
Would you have said yesterday this was the best Hamfest in the world?
No, but any Hamfest beats, worst Hamfest in the world beats the best day at work.
I live just north of Raleigh, North Carolina.
And why did you come here today?
I came here because, as others have said, this is about the best Hamfest you can go to, rain or shine. The people are great, the food's fantastic, and there's always great stuff. So even if it rains, it's a good time.
What do you have for an AM station?
Well, my main station right now is a Collins KW1 and 7584, but I've got a couple of broadcast transmitters, a T368, and a few other goodies kicking around.
Now you have the KA1 call. Where did you get? Where were you living? Here?
I'm originally from Vermont. I moved just a couple of years ago, 2008, to North Carolina.
Why?
To get away from the crazy politics, the ridiculous taxes, and the cold.
And the cold. How was yesterday?
Yesterday here was pretty damn miserable, but only in the weather sense. It was good to be here. We traveled. It took us 3 days. I started on Tuesday to get up here for Friday. So.
And where did you come from to get here?
Tampa, Florida.
Why?
Because I come up every October. This is a great gathering of AMers, love AM. You never find stuff like this in this kind of condition down in Tampa, Florida. Look at that Apache. That thing's 50 years old. Looks like it was made yesterday. And great friends.
You're at least 50 years old, too.
I'm turning 60 pretty soon.
But you don't look like you were made yesterday.
No, sir. Well, thank you for that. Love Nearfest and Mr. Mike and the crew.
How was it yesterday in the rain?
You know something? People were happy. People were smiling. People were laughing. It didn't matter. You know, this is a great place to be.
Okay, how far a distance did you come?
3,500 miles.
And when did you leave home?
About 2 weeks ago.
That takes a long time to get across the U.S.
Well, I went to the Hartford show first.
Okay.
I went down to Newington and operated W1AW and palled around in Newington for a little while, and then drove up here and went up to Maine. Had a couple of lobster lunches, and the shellfish and the crabs and everything up here are dynamite. Everything out in California from San Diego up to Santa Barbara is polluted because they run the sewers out into the ocean, and they just, they don't care. But everything up here is just wonderful.
How was, were you here yesterday?
Yeah.
Tell me
very, very wet.
Did you?
Very, very wet and cold.
Did you try and sell?
No, I went around and bought yesterday.
Was it worth coming? Was it worth being here yesterday?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me, why?
Why? Because of all the camaraderie and the friends. This is my 8th show. When Mr. Mike decided that this is the show he wanted to start, I was in full support. It was fun walking around. I had all my rain gear and foul weather gear on, and I'm dressed for bear here. And I'm 71, and if I stay home, I start getting depressed and blue. My wife passed away 3 years ago, so I got to get out and go. It keeps me alive. If I just sit around the house and look at the four walls and play with the radio. I have a radio in the car. I can play with the radio while I'm driving. So I can't stay home. I got to get out and go. It's all from the SMF, Neil, K6 SMF, signing off and clear.
Friday was horrible. The rain was coming down so hard. You'd put your arms up to pull the tarp over the top of the tent. The rain would run down your arms. Okay, you ended up soaked and miserable. Okay, but yet there were still people here buying. But it took hours to set up.
You said it was, your name is?
My name is Don, N1ZIH.
And it was a good day.
I had a pretty good day, buying and selling wise. Despite the weather, there were people out here walking around, so we did all right.
And where do you sell? Are you selling from right here?
I'm selling from right here. Some of this is CVRC, Kentucky Valley Club Estate equipment that we are getting rid of. Some of it's our own personal equipment, so a little bit of everything here.
But it was worth coming.
It's always worth coming.
Okay.
I'd come even if it snowed. I don't care.
We've done that.
We have done that.
When it was in Kingston and it was horse traders, it actually snowed and sleeted.
And we had a snow squall. We had a snow squall come through Hopkinton one year too in May.
Yeah.
So it does happen.
And it was worth it.
And it's always worth it.
Okay.
We love this. I can't think of being anywhere else on this weekend. And I could have been somewhere else.
And what is the Florida AM group?
Well, it's a group of amateurs who are very interested in AM radio. And we have about 25 regular check-ins on Sunday morning in our group. And people from all over Florida.
So why are you here?
I'm up here because we have a summer cottage in Vermont, my wife and I. And we thought this would be an opportunity to bring some of our equipment here that we don't use anymore to try to sell to other amateurs who are interested in AM. AM is I would say it is the hallmark of amateur radio in terms of its history. And back in the day, it was CW or it was AM. And AM became the standard for broadcasting, and the ham radio operators just followed with that idea. However, when the bands became a little bit crowded, single sideband was invented, and it became probably a better mode. But we have more fun with AM because it's the old time stuff. It's like driving an old car.
Pat Marcy, W7PZ.
And why are you here?
I'm here to enjoy Nearfest with all these great hams.
How long did you take where did you come from?
I came from Kingman, Arizona.
Why so far?
To come see my friends and talk about Icom radios.
How was it yesterday?
Yesterday was very cold and very wet.
But you were inside yesterday, right?
I was inside, and I have heaters on both sides of me to keep me warm.
Did it get a little, were you a little busier yesterday?
No, that's actually much busier today.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the hams didn't come out of their tents or their cars to go against the wind and the rain yesterday.
Now, do you set this entire thing up here yourself?
I do. I set this up. It's a one-man show, if you will. Do a lot of them across the country, so I'm very experienced at doing it.
What do you pack it all in?
When?
No, what?
Oh, they're all in Pelican cases, so they travel real well. They're very well insulated and padded because they travel all over the country.
And how many shows would you say you do a year?
Icom does about anywhere between 32 and 36 shows a year, and I do about 80% of them.
But you don't sell anything.
We don't sell anything. We just demo the radios and talk about the features of them.
How, now that with software radios coming out, how do you feel about, is Icom going to ever do anything about that?
More than likely at one time or another. That's not something that we currently have other than in our receiver line. But yeah, it's a progression. There'll probably be something sooner or later.
I'm kind of curious. Hams are known for being relatively cheap. How can Icom make money selling to ham radio operators?
Well, there's also, they might be pinching their pennies, but they also want the newest and greatest features of radios. So that's as different radios come out, we have new features on them. They also want those. So it's a hobby, and people like, there's a lot of people out there that like the high-end stuff or the newest and greatest. So
what's the most expensive radio here today?
Icom has about $11,000 radio down there on the HF.
It looks like J. McGrath. The last name is definitely McGrath. And it looks like N1EOE.
Do we have a ticket? This is for the first prize, an Icom 718. But wait.
There's more.
There's more. It comes with a G5 RV.
Oh, wait.
There's more. And also a 20-foot antenna pole from HamSource. So the G5 RV from Radio Oasis and the Icom is from us. And HRO, and Icom gave us a very nice discount on it. Thank you very much. Okay, drum roll, please.
John Potter, KD1IAW.
Let me go get him.
Okay.
He's here?
All right.
He's here. I'll go get him.
Okay. That's excellent.
Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Harold's not going to believe that.
Thank you. I know.
And who's the young man?
That's my son, Chris.
And do you get a free ice cream sundae because your father won this?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Okay.
This has been the best Hamfest yet.
Yeah. Were you here yesterday?
Yes, I was. I endured. Yes, endured.
The question is, was it worth it?
Oh yes, it's always worth it.
Even if you didn't win?
That's right.
Okay.
It's always worth it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, and thanks for coming. Hey, we'll see you.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed Nearfest, and I hope you've enjoyed the video that we've showed you today. Saw some of the equipment that was around and some of the people that were around. and hopefully you'll come here next time and the weather will be better for both days.
SOS.
Hi, 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 hi.